Well, you don't really have the option for something like a Mirana that can kind of just leap in and take care of it. So we'll see what they do opt for here, Omega. Because again, loser of this series is going to have to leave the Pro Series altogether. And winner will proceed through to the lower bracket. So a lot riding on this third game. You'd hate to see either one of these teams leave, but unfortunately one of them has to. In Omega, they'll go for an LC pickup, which is very interesting. Kind of makes me think maybe they're running the Bristol safe lane or the Bristol mid here. But I haven't seen the LC at all recently, so I'm quite shocked to see it popping up.
We've seen Sam H play it a couple of times. He's one of the only offlaners left that wants to play the LC. Him and, I guess, every now and again, KP as well. It's still effective. You know, the Ag Shard is still a big nuisance. I'm worried about the fact that they've given away this Phoenix. There's still an option for an offlane Mars. And the Mars into Bristol is not something Bristleback wants. The Spear will force you to face forward. You've got the Arena Egg combination. I think GXR wanted to hammer in that Mizu hero. You should just go for the Mars. It's really good in this game against what Omega has. It just immediately counteracts the Bristleback. You've got the combination with your Egg anyway. Gives you great team fight, great tempo. They should just go for it.
Let's see. GXR, they'll have a think about it. And a minute reserve time left to make this decision. They do go for the Void.
Oh.
Wow. Bit of a left field pick here. I'm not 100% sure what the Void's going to do this game, but I guess it is still pretty nice as a carry right now. Have been seeing a lot in the, especially in the Chinese region, I believe. Very, very popular, this Void pickup. So there you go. It does look quite strong with the Phoenix Egg, I suppose.
Yeah, you've got Egg combo on hand. The TA can kind of play outside of Chrono as well. So you have some synergy going on there. So, I would have still preferred a Mars. I think it's going to be a straightforward ban now for Omega if they see it. Although there is counter synergy with Mars Void, because the Mars doesn't contribute too much into Chrono. So you might not want that anymore for GXR. Omega still lacking, well, not really lacking, but still have to figure out where their Bristleback goes here, whether or not they want that on safer mid. There's also the weird possibility of say a Tusk off lane for Sam H, the Legion Commander going on support role. We've seen that done a couple of times. Surely for the Ag Shard, not necessarily the best choice when you've already got the Ench, so I think they're going to have to make that work much more straightforward. And I like that GXR did actually ban out the, Arc Warden. No Arc Warden option. You don't really have the best ways of dealing with Chrono right now for GXR, for Omega. No Venge for swap. Nothing like an Oracle for the disarm and the False Promise to save. No Winter Wyvern for the curse. So Omega's going to have to find a core that can somehow scale along with Void and kind of hold his own. Maybe something that can allow them to initiate on the Void first, prevent that Chrono from being an issue in the first place.
They'll go for the Darkseid. I suppose that's fine, right? Because you can still, Iron Shore the Void throughout the Chrono, and that can add to the damage output, which can be quite nice. Apart from that, Omega Esports, they will finish off with the Wraith King. Alright, there you go. That's one way to kind of just crit down the creep that has the Iron Shell. Still going to be a bit of a hard matchup here for Tino, I think, but maybe not too hard, because you can really just burst down the creep. Overall, both drafts are now completed, John. I'd love to ask you the hardest question of all. Before we go into this Game 3, who came out with the better draft?
It's rather even. I don't think you have a full draft advantage on either side. Wombo combo from GXR is amazing. Phoenix Egg faces Void Chrono plus Vac Wall combinations to set all of that up first. That sounds very potent. The issue is, with a core like the Wraith King, that's the exact core we were talking about. Doesn't care too much about Chrono because he's got a second life. You could try to itemize for Diffusal in the Faceless Void, but you're just trying to bully him out before the 20-minute mark when the Ag Shard just nullifies that. So I think the Wraith King was a smart pick from Omega. They are lacking in team fight on Omega's end though, but I think what they're hoping will happen is that Galaxy Racer is the one that commits and they just counter fight. Maybe they find pick off here and there with their Tusk LC, but when it comes to counter fighting, they can, once they're big enough under Bristle and Wraith King, they can survive through the initial onslaught, and in a prolonged fight, the Bristleback feels great. If he does manage to get the Radiance, he's just going to constantly burn, take away at a lot of that softer back line, and they can try to wrangle control back. So hard to call it from the draft. Maybe it's easier. Okay, I'd say GXR, because it's easier to pull off the chrono combinations here. Whereas for Omega, they don't have too much team fight control. But again, they've got that potential for counter fights as long as they survive. So they don't actually need to execute perfectly beyond their ganks, but they just need to live. If they live through Egg, Chrono, somehow, they can definitely just clean up afterwards. There's not much left in the tank once you blow those spells out.
Fair enough. We'll go into it, John. Game number 3 between Omega Esports and Galaxy Racer Esports. See who can come out on top of this one. And I've got to admit, John, I was kind of leaning the way of Galaxy Racer myself here. I do think they might just have the better draft going into this game number 3. But let's just let the teams kind of play it out and see who does have the better draft in the end.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit curious. What did LootBet give the odds for this game 3 as?
That's a very good question, John. Let me bring them up right now, and we'll find out. GXR, they are still the favorites, and that's been pretty much the same every single game we've had so far. GXR, they do start off the favorites every single time. The odds have been getting a little bit closer, though, as the games do go on. So it has been closer and closer, but Galaxy Racer 1.7 to Omega's 2.08.
Yeah, I think a lot of that advantage stems from their most recent match in group stage. GXR did win that 2-0, so there might be a bit of a weighing bias there. Just that recent result still in your dream?
He's got the time walk up. He will eventually use it. I mean, in the end, you've got the tag team down now.
You 13 mana boy.
I do love that voice line,
You make best situation
the Boom Esports one. It is quite hilarious.
Yeah, it's not the proper usage though in your dream. He's the one running away, right? So he shouldn't be asking them where they're going. Where's he going? Why you shouldn't be, if you use that line, you should be fearless. In dream. Still, he loves that. And we'll see if he does manage to get more opportunities to do it. 3 runes start here for GXR. Feeling good already. Getting that gold advantage. Of course, Paulson might be in a bit of trouble here.
He's in a lot of trouble, John. He hasn't got Icarus Dive up right now. He just kind of has to abuse the Fire Spirits, but Sam H is doing the right thing by going for the body blocks and making him use those Fire Spirits up so they can get back to work. Tag team's also there in 4 seconds, but it looks like they won't have quite enough time to really get the tag team out again for Paulson. Nevertheless, though, I mean, he hasn't got a salve and he's only got 1 tango left. So this lane for the Phoenix already looking pretty tough.
Yeah, he's trying to ferry out a salve for himself, but should be a bit worried. Very long cooldown on those Fire Spirits. The harassment coming through from Shanks and Sam H should be easy enough to kind of zone out a bit here. Of course, In Your Dream's not gonna be under too much of a threat. He's always got Time Walk. It is a long cooldown, but it takes a while for the damage to fly through on the Tusk and the LC. So IWD's just going to be able to get off and kind of save himself every single time. Once Paulson hits level 3 with a value point in the Sunray, perhaps it's going to be even better with a regen that In Your Dream will get on hand.
Also over in the mid lane, you've got Alacrity there on the TA up against Mac on the Bristle, so you do end up having the mid Bristle back. Don't know how much he's really going to be able to abuse the TA. Like, Alacrity's always going to have that refraction up, and naturally, of course, Alacrity does end up going for the early magic stick. It's going to be very valuable into the Bristleback. I just don't really see what Mac can really do here to slow Alacrity down. Like, you could probably secure your own farm quite nicely here as the Bristle. That's about all you're going to do. And it feels like Alacrity, with this early Meld Strike, is going to be able to abuse Mac quite a bit. Yeah,
he's got that nice range advantage. Of course, Mac probably doesn't care too much as long as he can get some stacks with a Cold Spray, but gotta be careful.
Dino just survived on 8 HP on the Wraith King, by the way, down a bot lane, and as I look away, Alacrity does get the first blood on the TA. Mac does end up going down, and John, would you mind explaining how that happened?
Yeah, he just got run down. He just went up, used Cold Spray, walked up the ramp, just like this, and then ended up having to walk this way for his water rune, died on the way. So you don't really want to do that. The range advantage from Alacrity is a bit much. He actually goes for the value point in Meld as well. So he gets more minus armor if it doesn't miss. And Mac has to be a bit cautious. He's forced to go for a 0-2-2 build. No goo, no slow, no kill opportunities. Alacrity's just going to be able to keep maintaining that control. And as a Bristleback, you can't really afford to drop too much in the early game. You're going to have to soak a lot of space to make up for it down the line.
Look at Mac. He's chasing him down all the way. He's got another Meld Strike up. Oh, he misses it though. That's the one thing. Alacrity, he's already queued up the brown boots. And once he has that up, Mac would have died had those brown boots been there already. This lane is going to become ever more difficult for this Bristle, it seems, even with the level 2 and the passive. That value point in the Meld Strike is really proving to be very effective already.
It's painful. And that's exactly how he died last time, mind you. Exactly the same thing. I'll actually just ran him down. So, gotta watch that spacing there, Mac. He doesn't have too many stacks in the triangle either for recovery. And his supports don't have the space to get that done. They've even got the forward ward in the triangle camp anyway. So if there are stacks, Alacrity can clear them out. And he's off to a really good start. 17 to 3, slightly behind CS, but a kill more than makes up for it. And Mac is just going to have to go for the creep pull to equalize that lane. Still, that bot lane you were talking about a bit. Tino is holding steady. Mizu is applying some harassment. He's getting his farm up. But this is some really good micro from CML. And this is one of his specials. He loves the Enchantress. He always has throughout pretty much his entire Dota career. And with that nice Satyr Tormentor, he's got a nice bit of burst damage to threaten with.
And they go. Mizu. I'm not sure what the idea there was. Ends up getting taken down. No Hadouken out.
Oh.
CML not willing to waste the Hadouken blindly. What was Mizu thinking, John?
I don't know. He just he copped 2 hits from that Satyr Tormentor. That's a lot of damage. It's way too much to give out. So Mizu's got to be a bit more careful. He's not that tanky on this Darkseer just yet. Level 3, bottle up, nothing else. Tino, everyone keeps underestimating Mortal Strike damage. It is so strong. And it's on a cooldown, so you can always time your hit on it. You just need to be a little bit more cautious in that lane. Your lane partner as well, it's not like you have Clockwork Darkseer. You've got Lion, which is nice with a stun, but you don't really get to run and gun people. Well, you don't have a nice frontliner in your support to help spread the damage around and help you get some burst off, so it's a bit more passive for the Darkseer there.
Top lane, Paulison. Gonna be dropping quite low. Your Dream, trying to Sam H. No lucky bash coming out for him. Mac, trying to steal some stacks away here from Alacrity, and you might get away with it. Alacrity's actually going to run right back to the lane, not willing to waste his time trying to contest Mac there. And instead, with the siege creep, he's going to try and push in the mid tower. This isn't actually such a bad idea. You can start pressuring that mid tier 1 and force him to back off on that Bristleback.
Geez, CML, look at this, Jokam.
Jokam. He's trying to run. Tornado was following him down, but it's a little bit too slow, and eventually he should be alright. As now Miz is going to show up. CML still playing around here with the Darkseer. How even Alacrity's going to be there. CML trying to juke them out, but Alacrity comes in. Gives him the Meld Strike. Puts CML to sleep.
Jokam? Jokam? No, not like that, Jokam.
he died to the Satyr Tormentor.
He came back in. He came back in. He should have known.
No.
He saw it. Oh,
goodness
CML.
me. Shanks. Nice snowball from Shanks. Alacrity side blades probably could still get him. He's going to look for it, but no, the neutral creep gets him beforehand. I can't believe Jokam actually died like that. Like, ran right into the Satyr Tormentor as it was dewarding.
Yeah, that was definitely very questionable. But Jokam's had a bit of a rough run. He was stuck at level 2 for a long time, just hits level 3. I mean, CML's on the 5 and he's level 4. And that's just how much better Omega's bot lane has been going. It's so good that Tino can be left alone now. He's got level 6. No reincarnate, but he has a point ready to go. And this is the point where you can just do much more in the map. You know, you could try stacking around some camps, with your micro, soak down mid, get some EXP, opens up rotations up top. There is level 6 up on In Your Dream, but Sam H has his duel ready as well. You're not quite in position to go for a pick off for In Your Dream, so he's got to be a bit cautious. He's left behind with no supports here.
He is. They won't be able to catch him out though. He does have the chrono if he needs to use it defensively. But now it looks like Pollison's going to stick around to try and defend, but Sam H, he'll get the duel off. And that'll be the first duel victory of the game here for Sam H. Very easy setup onto Pollison. Meanwhile, In Your Dream, a nice chrono out. Catches two, but he'll go straight after the Enchantress kill. Alacrity got Mac meanwhile across the map. Alacrity just solo killed Mac again. That's... we're 8 minutes into the game. He's still running him down.
Mac has nowhere else to be. Like, he show top. I don't know why he doesn't just take bot lane with a Raid King up top. He needs to leave this TA lane. Alacrity is just doing too much damage. Level 2 Sideblades, level 2 Meld Up, max level Refraction. He just spills over the damage all too well, and he can slow you down with traps. So, just need to see Mac commit in the bot. He does make his way down there. The Vanguard's almost up. That's going to help Mac a bit more. He's still going to need a lot more items, of course, to really be a menace. Actually not sure what he'd want to go for next. He definitely just want more armor. Something with plate mail build up. Maybe a Lotus Orb would work out here. I don't know if you'd want to rush it. Does look like he will still opt for the usual Hood of Defiance with the Vanguards, just to mitigate the magic damage from the Phoenix Lion and Darkseer. You are seeing Mizu creep cut a bit. He does have a wall already, but with a chrono committed and with no egg up yet, it's kind of hard to look for that big team fight for the DS.
Shanks gonna run into Mizu. Mizu's gonna drop the wall, slows him down a little bit. That gonna be off the mark though. Now the surround is here. Mac's gonna show up. CML's around. Tag team popped. Mizu. He has level 1 Surge. Now Sam H is coming in for the duel. They really want to give him that duel over, and they will. A nice snare out from CML. Omega will get a secondary duel there for Sam H. It's been a bit of a tough game for them, but they do hold the net worth advantage.
Yep, very slightly. And issue for GXR is that less than 1k gap is because Alacrity is soaking up all the sources of farm. In Your Dream's falling a bit behind. Mizu is really lagging behind. But this investment on Alacrity has to pay off. Dragonlance is up. The stats are great. Added range makes it easier for him to chase down heroes as well. So, you know, he's starting to feel strong. He is going Desolator this game and not the Blink Rush. It looks like he wants that BKB. So the same build-up as game 2, where the Blink came out much later. He's going to depend on his other allies to kind of set up for him, but there's still not much they can do about this. This is a dead lane for the side of Omega, unless they really commit the team fight for the defense.
T1 tower mid lane. Oh, Joe is being caught out. A nice shot set up with the duel is there, and Sam H will take another one as Joe Cam is the first to fall. Pollison, he still has the X to play with, but the chrono, he dived right into it. In Your Dream, what are you doing? Sam H is going to try and fight back. They will try to run now as Alacrity has been caught out. What have they done? A nice vacuum. Is it going to matter? The wall was too late. Now Mizu's running by himself. He will drop to boot. And there's the tip out. I was wondering how long it was going to take. Oh, he dived right into the chrono. In Your Dream. I mean, that's actually the perfect moment to spam the voice line shot. That was it. The egg. It's going to pop. They're going to try and fight again. But, of course, Omega, they're going to run because there's no chrono.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate for CHI. IYD didn't even get the tower. The Paulson died to just tower hits under chrono. You rarely see that because, you know, it's always taken up there. But very hasty. First chrono not quite panning out. And Omega feel great. All the farm is still hanging on Alacrity. In Your Dream is wasting time not farming up. He needs to stick to that jungle. And they're hitting their spikes here. Hood of Defiance and the Vanguard up on Mac. Tino with the armlet up. These guys are ready to fight if they need to. Especially Mac. You can just commit to a lane, hold steady. The burst damage coming through from the TA and from the Lion, and all the magic damage as well, is not going to hurt the Bristle back as much as it used to.
Mid lane, Omega He's gonna get to work, Alacrity. Try and deal with Mac. There's your Earthspike out. Sunray gonna be popped to boot. They'll have to press the attack there for Mac. He'll be just fine. You haven't got a jewel up, or rather a blink up yet on Sam H, but he does have the jewel. He can just kind of run in if he really wants. He'll spot it on Alacrity, but they are going to lose CML, and now a snowball is in. They want the lion first. Joe Cam, though, a nice hex out, gets the finger on Mac. He is somehow still alive, but surely not for long. The stun is there. In Your Dream jumps in. They will get the bristle, and now they get Tino. As Sam H is going to try and run, but they should have enough control for him this time around. Though apparently he does not get up one bash. And Misu will tip In Your Dream. Like, bro, where's the bashes? What's going on?
Bit unfortunate there for Tino. He arm toggled at the wrong time, and he has this hanging skill point. He did not go for Reincarnate. Now, he would have probably still died afterwards, to be fair, but yeah, it feels like a needless death there. GXR, they find a big mid-tier 1. They wrangle some map control back for themselves, lead back their way 1k. Still a lot of that on Alacrity, but In Your Dream has caught up, just barely behind Mac, managing to overtake Tino and Sam H. So it's looking good. It's starting to line up. Chrono is back up. Egg is back up as well if they want to force a big engagement. And now it's the side of Omega that needs to be a bit more cautious. Tino still needs a Radiance. He's been spending a lot more time fighting. They are going to try on mid again.
Yeah, that Sunray going to burn him down quite fast, but Sam H is there with the press the attack to purge off the stuns. Still Vacuum is in, Egg is out. Chrono going to protect the Egg. A very nice Chrono, in fact. Going to find both Sam H and Mac. And this time, Sam H will be the one copy the tip. As Paulson and In Your Dream will give it to him.
Whoopsies.
Maybe it's an accident. I have a funny feeling it wasn't though, John.
It was quick enough. They typed out quick enough. I'll believe them. I'll trust them. Aegis does go their way as well. And very risky spot for them to contest. They were scouting out with a tornado creep, but does get taken out. So a 4k lead for GXR off the back of all of those fights. And they can do whatever the hell they want to now. They could just wait for the next Chrono Egg. They could keep building up on Alacrity. BKB still a ways off. But not much more they can do on the map unless they line up for the top tier 1. Tier 2s, it's still 15 minutes in. With the physical damage you do have on Alacrity, definitely a possibility. If you shut the map out, Omega won't have room to farm. They need farm on Bristle, they need farm on a Wraith King. Both of them want to clear out the jungle. Mac can't exactly just show up and shove a lane by himself. He's just not tanky enough. So options are limited here.
They are. Mid lane, who have they got there? It's going to be the Bristle. Mac having a very tough time already. But the press the attack again, going to save the day. GXR just not backing out of this mid lane quite yet, but we'll have to leave eventually. And they've already got the tier 1 tower, so there's not really much to play for. Or maybe not. Alacrity's still running in for that creep wave.
It's forcing Omega to clump up here. This is not efficient farm for them at all. Sam H is kind of putting himself on the back foot. He's not really able to build up into this Heaven's Halberd. We need to see an Ag Shard on Sam H as well. If once you get that mini spell immunity for Mac, the Bristle feels a lot better in the front line. So I think you're going to need to prioritize that on the LC. But for now, looks like the Heaven Halberd is going to come out for MH and for Mac. So double halberds to deal with the Void and the TA. Pretty nice to just ensure that no physical damage will fly out at all. Or you kind of stagger them and just prevent one of them from making anything happen. That could just completely nullify the Chrono if In Your Dream doesn't catch both of these heroes in. And yeah, they just keep playing mid because this will force Mac to stay still. He's not out shoving a different wave, forcing a response out. He's the one that has to respond. And a reactive bristleback is not as good as a proactive bristleback.
Mac gonna avoid getting hexed up and stunned by Joe Cam. Down to the bot lane they go. GXR get to work with that Desolator now on Alacrity. They'll tank the creep wave, trying to protect the siege creep. So that's going to be about enough. Kind of shocked to see that the Mac hasn't bothered trying to go for the Aghanim Scepter yet either. I mean, it is fairly early, mind you, but he hasn't really queued it up. I feel like the Axe is going to have a lot of value.
I think in this case, it's not as much as most scenarios. I don't mind the Halberd as much because he does need a way of mitigating some of that damage from the TA. The disarm's great for the TA in the Void. The evasion's really good against the TA in the Void as well, and that should just boost the presence of Mac. Like, if you went Ags, the stats are there. Sure, you could spam your Nasal Goo, but we see how fast he dies for a Bristle. I don't think he's going to get enough value from the stacks flying through to make up for how fast he's dying.
Fair enough, fair enough. Alacrity. Lots of Mac. Mac is going to turn his back. Earth Spike is there. Press the attack. Going to keep him safe. Still, I mean, the side of GXR, they really want to move in. Izu, looking for a big vac wall. We'll get the vac, but where's the wall?
Oh.
I guess he was hoping for In Your Dream to chrono.
He's too far behind. Like, he surged in, Mizu is way far forward, they couldn't get the combo, so the eggs wasted, but they still found a tier 2. So GXR still feels happy, bot lane's under their control. You still have some good wards here from Omega to watch the area, but they do take the outpost. XP per minute taken out for Smart Omega feels pretty bad. They're kind of lagging behind in that department, and this is where their lineup's really showing its weakness. They don't have teamfight. All they have is ganks and survivability. So the key thing is get that farm up and running enough that you live through the wombo combo of GXR and just prolong those fights. In a fight of attrition, and Bristleback will win out. They just don't have the opportunity to do that. GXR 5k up, blink up on Jokam. We've seen what he can do on that line with a blink up. They can just look to set up. The Aegis, though, is about to expire in about 15 seconds, so you're not going to have that second life for Alacrity. Doesn't feel like he really needs it, and look at Alacrity's build-up. He's already going for an MKB to deal with whatever sources of evasion does come out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a Radiance up on Tino. Makes enough sense. Heaven's Halberds, like you pointed out earlier as well, going to be a little bit annoying there for Alacrity. Omega. Still not ready to fight. Obviously, they just want to... You just keep the farm up. Perhaps with the Radiance, Tino wants to have a crack, but I wouldn't quite recommend it yet. We'll see what they do. It seems like GXR are the ones that are quite desperate to start another team fight, but they just haven't found the opening yet. Omega, they are being just so defensive. With their farming patterns just not showing at all if they can avoid it.
Yeah, it is kind of limiting their movement though, and GXR can kind of triangulate from there. They've got the smoke, Chrono's back up with Egg, they can commit.
But they can. Tino, definitely the main target. Shanks is going to break the smoke. Tino really has no way out of this, but In Your Dream, he's going to focus on the task while they go after the Wraith King on the other side. Wall is dropped with the egg, and they should be able to protect the massive Chrono. Out onto 3. They ran right into it. In Your Dream will say thank you very much. As Sam H gets tipped again. Mac is being chased down. Alacrity looks like he probably won't have the damage output, but maybe In Your Dream could time walk in for a bash. He won't be able to, but it won't matter. They got what they wanted. They got the big kills. They got the tier 1 top tower. It's time to back off.
Just clean plays from GXR. They find pretty much all the cores they'd want to. They're slowing down Tino. He can't really build up gold advantage. He hasn't been able to maximize his radiance in the fight as well. So it's a good showing from GXR. We're probably going to be eyeing the next rush before they commit towards tier 2s into the high ground. But they've got a lot of room on the map. They've got complete control in their own jungle. They are just bullying out Omega. They never feel safe in the lanes. They need so much more time to get the Bristle and Wraith King up and running. Heck, even Sam H is really lagging behind here. Behind Mizu now at 7.7k. Still trying to finish up the Halberd into that Ag Shard. They really need the Ag Shard. As long as you can protect the Wraith King or the Bristle, it feels a lot better because, again, they just want to live and do damage. as these fights prolong, these heroes excel at doing tons more damage as they live. So just need to see that come out from Sam H, which means that we need more time to stall, and Omega's map space is just shrinking a bit too much to get that done.
Pulse is going to be spotted here by Shanks. Not going to lead to much though, as Shanks can't really do it by himself. Omega, they're just got to play the farming game, but they are 8k behind. Wouldn't really go quite as far as saying that they have the better draft either. Still think even though you've got that Wraith King, he just doesn't survive long enough for it to matter for In Your Dream. They'll keep it up, Omega. They'll keep trying to just spend their time farming, but I'm wondering at what point they'll feel confident enough to try and actually start a fight themselves. Like, it just feels like such a while off. Maybe when Tino's got the Heaven's Halberd up as well, but even then, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough.
Definitely not. I mean, at that point, you'll probably see the full MKB on Alacrity. What they need to do is, if they want to fight, they have to fight after they see the Chrono Egg already drop, and immediately after they can force a fight. But they just don't do that. After they lose a fight, they go back and farm. It's not really what you want. You want to jump in while they don't have those team fight tools. That's when you can punish. And if you just kind of play to this, you're playing to GXR's pace. This is exactly what they want. They're just starving you out. 9k lead, 10 to 12 at 24 minutes in. And there's just no sign of relief yet for Omega. Their itemization still progressing really slow. I like what I'm seeing on Mac. He is going for something with plate mail, so it is the Lotus Orb coming through. Just more armor to tank through the TA hits. This is going to help them in a big way, and you could even maybe reflect back some hexes, reflect back the Earth Spikes if you're lucky, and work from there. For GXR's end, they've had this one for a while, but Mizu with the Ags, of course. Iron Shell providing that much HP is pretty sick. It's just that much harder to burst down any of the heroes on GXR, and it just makes it harder for Omega to find angles. Even Paulson's got enough farm that he's got a casual set of Shivas, and that's just, one of those items you love here.
Awkward little spot there for Mizu at the TP back to the outpost. The Roshan is happening. And it's a hard Roshan to try and contest here for Omega. They're going to try. But how do you start the team fight? Earth Spike out, the Mana Drain is there onto Mac. Mizu with the back wall just to be even more annoying, and that Roshan still dropping quite low. But In Your Dream, he jumped out onto the task. Now the Roshan's kind of exposed. Chrono down though. He has caught everyone, including his whole team. He will take the Roshan, but the Aegis, it's still on the deck. Alacrity picks it up instead. They will take down Sam H. CML's gone, Mac's gone, and now Tino's gone.
It was a bit awkward in the pit. Omega forced the issue. They just don't have great teamfight control. And that's it. Like, they knew Egg and Chrono were up, still forced their bodies in. He needed to find a kill in the back line first. They couldn't do it. And with Aegis up, they're just going to go high ground. There is nothing to stop this lineup for GXR. What Omega needed is to hold on a lot longer. And once they start losing some racks, if it does happen, In Your Dream just showing off his shard. But once they do start to drop these racks, I don't know how you bounce back on such heavy farm heroes here.
They're going to try and delay it. It's just such a hard ask to really delay this racks being taken. Alacrity, you just get rid of CML. There goes your mid racks. Alacrity still going in after Mac. These meld strikes, they don't quite hurt as much as they used to, but you just can't underestimate the minus armor that's flying out here from Alacrity. In we go again. In Your Dream, he's got the rewind button now. It's rewind time. Why the hell not? Mac just keeps rewinding forward, rewinding backwards.
IYD.
Who thought of this? Who thought this was balanced? Back wall is there. They've got 3. Chrono's not up though. It won't really matter. It's just a kind of a zoning wall. who thought that was balanced? Snowball forward. Shang's going to try and set up, but now he's screwed himself over. A nice Earth Spike out. That will lock them both down. Tino's going to run. He cannot man fight this, but he's lost his first life. In Your Dream will turn around. Back onto the Wraith King. Get to work, they say. He will have that temporary BKB, but now a massive back out with the Earth Spike. Just locking them all in. This could be it. They've got no buybacks left, and they call it. They have had enough. And there you go. GXR, after dropping game 1, were able to turn it right back around and get the 2-1 victory. They will proceed through to the lower bracket round of 3.
Yeah, they played spectacularly well. Game 3 was a lot more obvious as who the better team was. I think for Omega, it's a bit of a drafting issue. They start with the Bristleback, they flex it for Mac. They had no team fight. The offlane LC, they kind of worked their lanes out relatively well, but by the time Elect just ran them down, like Bristleback versus TA was just not great, and you really saw that highlighted by how slow Mac's start was. He died 2 times to TA solo, never good news. Galaxy Racer, maybe a couple of issues with the initial team fights. That there was that one chrono that I don't remember seeing now. I think I'm losing my mind here, but that one chrono mid that we'll all pretend didn't happen. For that, it just all lined up for In Your Dream, and they took it from there. A very back and forth series there, Mike, but was a very exciting one. Now, I'm not sure if we have an interview. I haven't been told, and I don't see anyone in, so perhaps we assume that there's none for this time?
We'll give it we'll give it a minute anyway. We'll wait it out, see if there are going to be any kind of winners interview happening here. I'm sure GXR are probably just excited right now because they did lose game 1, so it wasn't looking very good. And then at game 2 as well, they had the Divine Rapier Sniper they were up against. And that really could have gone any way, but they did manage to pull it off and force to a game 3. And of course, now they're sitting at a 2-1. They'll be able to proceed through. But John, while we're waiting, I believe we do have a bit of a cheeky giveaway to do, sir.
Yeah, of course, that's thanks to our sponsor, Mate Mate. Mate Mate, a natural energy drink, is caffeine reimagined. Try Mate Mate today and get more day, more night. Mate Mate is available at all 7-Elevens throughout Asia, or click on the banner below and head over to the website and place your order. And we do have that giveaway Mike mentioned. There is a giveaway that will run for 10 minutes between this series and the next. So you can join that giveaway by typing !Mate Mate in the chat box. There are 10 winners a day, 2 cases each winner. All of Asia and Oceania are valid. A rarity for most giveaways, so make sure you type !Mate Mate to join in for a chance at winning some pretty good cases of tea.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, John. And do check your messages on Twitch, by the way, if you are one of the viewers that are joining the giveaway, because you will find out today if you did win one of the draws for that giveaway. So do make sure you check your messages as the BTS mods. We'll try to message you to let you know if you have won part of the draw. And of course, yesterday on, I believe, there was plenty of winners in the Twitch chat that were quite excited that they were able to win. And of course, I believe delivery will be happening quite soon as well. So you won't have to be waiting too long to get your Mate and get energized, John. Wake up in the morning a little bit. I've already had my can. Yep. Of course, you can also, I found out last night, you can mix it with ice, John, because it is tea. I didn't realize that it's an energy drink based on tea, so you can actually mix it in a cup with ice. And it is meant to be served chill, and I've got to admit, when it was mixed with ice, I did prefer it more. So I think the real kind of extra chilled factor to it really helped me out there. It was quite nice this morning. Instead of my coffee, I just had one of those.
I hope I get some cans soon. I really want to give it a shot. I want to see
don't be so impatient.
Yeah, good things come to those who wait. You know what else we've been waiting for? That interview we've got In Your Dream. In the wait, I'm gonna go ahead and drag him in, see what he has to say. Hello, In Your Dream. Are you there?
Hello. Yep.
Hello. How are you doing? How are you feeling about that win?
Feels good, to be honest. First win on the lower bracket.
Tell me about it. I mean, going into this matchup up against Omega Esports, were you guys concerned at all that you might not be able to pull off the victory today, or were you quite confident going into this series?
We are quite confident through the series. We fucked up on the first game, but I think it doesn't matter because it's just their draft is way too good, and also it's just like if we play on the early morning, sometimes we're just not focused. You know, we need to like figure it out the way to like how to make ourselves comfortable from before we're joining into the game. Against Omega, also they have so many cheese threats, so we gotta be careful. Yeah.
I gotta ask you as well, in your dream, this is regarding you. You and Paulison have been going at it with Sam H over the tips all series. I've gotta ask, is there any bad blood there, or are you guys just friends and you're just messing around?
Well, we are just messing around.
All right,
because we are ex teammate before back in
course.
T1, so yeah.
I was wondering because you guys were really going at it with the tips. So I was like, I'm not sure if they're actually arguing or something, but good to hear you guys are just mates and just playing around. John, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so Galaxy Racer, you guys have sort of went through a roster change, right? You're in fully. How is the team chemistry working out? Like group stage looked like it went up and down. Are you guys feeling confident not just in that matchup, but going forward? Do you guys feel great? Are you all comfy with each other now? How's the team chemistry like?
Yeah, towards each other. Actually, we know each other's a lot before we are teaming up. Also, before this GXR actually, I only knew Vincent. So, but the rest of us like we already knew each other's, and we just need to practice more. So we gonna be on the same page in the near future to the TI qualifier as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of those qualifiers coming up, obviously you guys are going to be playing at it. How are you guys feeling going into that? Like the tournament's one thing, but in the general view, are you guys confident in your ability to finish up those qualifiers? What team are you guys looking forward to playing the most in the region?
Oh, in the C region, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Should be Boom Esports because they strong.
Ooh.
They just strong.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Spam those voice lines back. Mario Kamanavos to them. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, nothing much.
Speaking of choosing teams, though, you've either got OB Neon or Lilgun coming up for your next series, depending on which one wins after this interview. Who would you prefer to go up against tomorrow?
Actually, we want to play against Obinion because lately I have some trauma shit playing against team like Lil Gun because they got so many cheese heroes. Like somehow like it's so weird. Sometimes it's just kind of strange. Feels not so good going up against Lil Gun. Yeah. So I just want to fight Neon like with the normal heroes. That's for my general opinion only.
Oh, fair enough.
Fair enough.
In your dream, before we let you go, did you have any message to the fans? Anything you want to say before we let you leave the interview?
Oh yeah, actually, thank you for supporting us. Just keep supporting us until TI qualifier is up. Also, we're gonna try to win this BTS, grinding up from lower bracket to like grand final match. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you very much in your dream. Pleasure to hear from you, sir, and best of luck in your next series.
Thank you. Best of luck to you too.
Thank you. What a nice guy in your dream is. What a polite gentleman. He always just smiling, happy, very talkative. Very good to see. Very, very good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that he's, out of all teams, he's calling out Boom. I think, it's got some of that Indo pride to do with it, right? He wants to show up his fellow Indonesians, spam the voice lines back at them. And, we'll see when they do cross that road. It's going to be an exciting one. But we do have an exciting match left coming up, of course. We've got OB Esports Neon up against Lil Gun. And that's what In Your Dream mentioned, it's like, Lil Gun is a tricky team. No matter what, they will catch you off guard. Like SMG were most definitely caught off guard yesterday. Those were sub 25-minute wins. Yep. So we'll see if Lil Gun can do that because OB Neon kind of does the same thing, except I think they surprised themselves as well with their own drafts. So we'll see who kind of gets confused in that fight and hurts themselves first.
We'll find out very soon. We are going to head to a short break, but right after that break, we are going to have Lil Gun up against OB Neon coming right up. We'll see you soon.